here, it's quiet now. Let's drift into a different kind of dream, one about a world that could have been. Close your eyes if you like and imagine with me. Tonight's story asks a simple question. What if the internet was never invented? Let's take a calm walk through this alternate history, softly, step by step. Picture the world in the early 1990s. The faint hum of dial up modems never arrives. No flickering monitors calling out for connection. Instead, newspapers still rustle each morning. Television guides still mark the rhythm of evenings. Phones remain tethered by cords, and the only web people know is the one spun by spiders outside their window. In this world, something changed, or rather, something never changed. The global network we know as the internet never found its spark. Maybe a critical researcher stopped, or funding was lost, or a decision postponed the entire project indefinitely. So here we are in a quiet, unconnected Earth. How would people talk? Letters would still matter. Ink on paper would carry emotion across distances. Every word written carefully, each envelope sealed with thought. Long distance calls would exist, but costly, limited. People would still wait for postcards from travels abroad. Tiny rectangles carrying a glimpse of other skies. At work, offices would hum with typewriters, not the clicks of keyboards. Filing cabinets would be monuments of memory. Libraries would remain the beating hearts of cities, places where people gather for information, for warmth, for the slow joy of discovery. Without instant messaging, patience would survive. We'd rediscover the small ritual of waiting. Evenings without the internet would feel different. No streaming platforms, no endless scroll. Families might still gather around a single television show, scheduled for a precise hour. You miss it, you wait until next week. Music, vinyl, cassettes, and CDs would rule. Local radio hosts would still introduce songs, voices weaving through static airwaves. There'd be fewer distractions, but also fewer chances to discover new artists far away. Maybe we'd have stronger bonds to local culture. The neighborhood band, the nearby bookstore, the town's film club, meeting every Thursday night. People might look at the stars more often because there'd be no glowing screens to compete. In classrooms, students would leaf through textbooks, and teachers would still wheel in televisions for documentaries. Research papers would require actual travel, hours spent among library shelves, the quiet sound of pages turning. Without Wikipedia or online courses, knowledge would move slowly like water through soil. But perhaps that slowness would teach depth, each fact verified through conversation, each theory discussed face to face. Imagine a world where Curiosity means walking to a library, and discovery smells faintly of paper and dust. Some might find it peaceful, others frustratingly slow. Without social media, friendship would depend on proximity. You'd meet people through work, school, or shared spaces. Birthdays would be remembered because you truly remembered them, not because an app reminded you. Photographs would live in albums, their corners slightly curled, their colors fading with time. Every picture, a tangible proof that a moment happened. Would loneliness grow, or would it shrink? Some would feel isolated, unable to reach beyond their town, but others might feel freer, unbothered by constant comparison, by the invisible pressure of online lives. Now imagine business in a world without internet, no e commerce, no emails, no video calls. Banks rely on face to face interactions. Paper trails stack high. Small local shops thrive because big online marketplaces never appeared. Farmers sell produce at markets. Tailors know their customers by name. Global corporations still exist, but their reach is slower. Trade depends on phone calls and faxes. Perhaps economies grow more steadily, with fewer overnight bubbles and crashes. Some jobs vanish. The entire digital industry never exists. Yet other trades flourish: printers, couriers, newspaper editors, librarians. It's a quieter kind of capitalism, less instant, more personal. Without the internet, politics moves at a different speed. News travels through newspapers and television anchors. There's no viral post, no trending hashtag. Public opinion changes slowly, guided by journalists and word of mouth. Misinformation still exists, but it spreads at walking pace, not lightning speed. Governments communicate by press conferences and print. Citizens discuss in cafes, in living rooms, in town halls. Perhaps people trust slower news more, perhaps not, but debates would feel smaller, more local, less overwhelming. Culture would remain more regional. Slang would differ widely from city to city. Fashion trends would take months to travel. Imagine that no instant viral dance, no global meme. The world would still have trends, but they'd bloom like flowers, seasonally, locally. Art movements would linger longer. Writers might take years to reach fame, but their success would last because attention wouldn't shift every hour. Would technology still advance? Yes, but slower. Without a global network, researchers would rely on conferences, letters, and journals. Projects would duplicate more often because discoveries couldn't be shared instantly. Yet some fields might thrive: local innovation driven by necessity. Computers might evolve purely as offline tools, powerful but solitary. The dream of artificial intelligence would be delayed. Smartphones, social networks, cloud computing, all distant ideas. Instead, humanity might focus on physical exploration, oceans, outer space, medicine. Perhaps we'd look outward instead of inward. Now imagine yourself in that world. It's night. You're sitting by a lamp, reading a magazine, the air filled with quiet. Outside, the streets are darker, stars brighter, no notifications, no algorithms, just the rhythm of your own thoughts. Would you miss the endless web of connection, the ability to learn anything instantly, to talk to anyone, anywhere? Or would you find peace in the slowness, in knowing that every message you send is deliberate, thoughtful, and rare? Maybe in some parallel universe, that world exists. A planet of ink and envelopes, of patience and presence. But here we live in the connected one. The challenge now is not to reject the web, but to remember the silence it replaced. As you drift to sleep, let the noise of connection fade and feel the calm of that quieter timeline. Good night, traveler. Dream of worlds that whisper.